here, we are talking in terms of the performance of the product. So one of the most basic definition of quality management that initially was given is related to the performance and expectation. And people said that it is the ratio of performance to expectations. So that is our quality, and it can be defined through as a ratio of our performance to expectations. And obviously, when we are saying that it is a ratio of performance to expectations, so if our values coming greater than 1, so means we are able to meet the customer expectations more. So the desired value we can say is equal to 1, and value lesser than 1 is not expected. So whatever the customer is expecting, we have to perform accordingly, whether it is a manufactured product or whether we are providing a service there. So that is our basic initial definition of quality management. Then,
Yes, sir.
Sanjeev.
Yes, sorry to disturb, sir, but the limit of participants are 100 and no more students are able.
Actually, that is a problem. So that other license somehow is not working. So today you have to bear with me. So from next class it will be resolved. So other link, that's why I send that link. So it has the capacity to accommodate 300 students, but somehow it is not working. So that's why. So today ask your friends to bear with me.
Okay, sir.
Now what I was saying that with the evolution of quality, there are many people who worked in the field of quality also, and now they have also given their own concepts, own definition of quality. Prominent among these people, or we call them quality gurus, is one such guru, Mr. Deming, and other is Joseph Juran. So these two are the, we can say, more famous quality gurus that have helped the concepts of quality management evolve over the time, and also helped them to reach more and more people and made people understand about the importance of quality management. So accordingly, this Deming, he also gave his own version of quality management definition or quality definition. So he said that quality is not a fixed thing. We cannot say the quality is a very fixed thing. It is dependent upon the person who is actually using the product or who is judging the things. So quality management, according to the definition given by Deming, he said that it is dependent upon the person who is using the product or using the service or taking the service, and how he is going to judge that. For me, the this requirements might be different. For the other person, the requirements might be different. So my expectations might be met with certain performance parameters, and for other, the expectations might be met with some other parameters. The definition he gave, and he said that it varies upon the person who is judging the quality. And he also said that now people at all levels are responsible for quality management. Like he said that the production person or the worker who is doing production is also responsible, and he should also be involved in quality management. And similarly, the our supervisors or the manager level people are also responsible for the quality management. So that was his understanding, or his initial understanding or concept that he gave about the quality. Then we have American Society of Quality Control also, that is one of the statutory body regarding this quality management. They also gave their own definition of the quality management or this quality. So they said that quality basically can be defined as the totality of the features that we are providing. So basically, they also try to relate it with the older definition or the initial definition where we are saying that it is the ratio of performance to expectation. And performance obviously can be achieved when we are saying that we have more features or better features than our competitors or than other products that are available in the market. So they gave initial definition as the totality of the feature, how well we are providing all the features in the product that customer is requiring in our product or the service we are providing, so that we are able to satisfy the implied and stated needs of the customer. So here they gave definition with respect to their features and in terms of satisfying the implied and stated needs of the customer. So implied and stated need of the customer means that stated needs are of those that a customer actually is telling us that these things are required by me. If he wants certain product, he wants certain features in that product, he is telling us those features or indicating that I require this product for this purpose, and now we should be able to provide those features. And they say, according to this American Society of Quality Control, they said that it is not only about what he is telling us, what features he is requiring. Certain needs are implied needs that he might not be telling us, but we have to understand it with respect to the product or the service that he is demanding. So those also needs to be looked into and provided into the product. So that was a definition by our ASQC, that we have to provide more and more features in the product if we are to say that this quality need to be enhanced, and also we have to take care of all the things whether the customer is telling us or not. Related features need to be provided into the product. So that was another definition. Then there are other definitions also that evolved over the period of time. Another definition of quality that says that it is basically fitness for use. So whatever product we are making, and for whatever features that we are designing, it should be able to perform those functions that we have designed those features in the product for whatever functions that are there. So it should be able to perform well on those parameters, and the customer should be able to use the product properly to satisfy their needs or whatever their expectations that are there. And these definitions that we are discussing, these are basically initial definitions that were given. They still hold true, but we can say that these are the certain traditional definitions that are there, and they are based on two important parameters, that is quality of design and quality of conformance. So quality of design and quality of conformance, what these concepts are, basically quality of design is related to that we are designing certain, means we are designing our products such that we are knowing what are the customer expectations and what features will be required to fulfill those expectations. We are during the designing phase itself, we are making sure that we have designed those things into the product. And quality of conformance makes sure that now we are conforming to whatever the standards we have set to in order to provide those features, in order to provide the product of that level of quality. So these are our we can say traditional definitions, that fitness for use or performance to expectations or totality of the features, or the definition of quality varies by the person who is using it or judging it. So these are our traditional definitions, and they hold true also. But now the new definition of quality that has shifted not only in terms of the features, because all these definitions we are seeing, they are talking about the more features we are providing, our ability to meet the customer needs and all. Now the definition today that we are following, or the concepts, statistical concepts today we are following, they are saying that it is not only about the features, it is about the reducing the variation in the products. So whatever products we are making, there should be lesser variation. So before that, discussing the new definition. So what is product? For us, the product is any output of any process. It can be in terms of our products that we are buying, in terms of the tangible products, or it can be intangible products also, like the services we are getting in terms of banking sector, insurance sector, or any other online service provider that is there. So that is also their product. So we have to not only think about the our traditional ways where the initial concepts of quality or all this operations concept developed with the manufacturing world or in the manufacturing industry. Now we have to, when we are talking about the modern day quality management, we have to think about it in terms of the services also. So service quality management is also important. And now, since we are talking about the quality features and customer satisfaction, so here what is customer satisfaction in this our quality management aspect? So when we are talking about the customer satisfaction here, we can say that customer satisfaction basically is a function of two things here. One is related to the definitions that we have been discussing, that it is related to the features, what features we are providing to the product. Another thing that is important is whether we are providing the product free from defects or not. That is related to the fourth definition that we discussed, that is fitness for use. So the product is fit for use, it is free from defects, it is free from certain things that might cause certain accidents or some harm during use. So for means defining customer satisfaction in terms of quality management, we can say that it is a function of two things or two components, that is, one is product features and other is defects. So that is freedom from defects or deficiencies. So these both things have impact on customer satisfaction. So more and more features that we are providing, and that too at a lesser cost, that means more value we are adding into the product, so we are able to satisfy the customer. And also along with that, it is not only about the features that we are providing, whatever features that we are providing should be free from defects. Product should be easily usable. There should not be major defects that are coming up while using, and there is reduction in the scrap that we are generating when we are talking in terms of product that are internal to the organization. That is, for one division of an organization, certain other division is providing us a product or service. So more features at same cost or lesser cost, and lesser and lesser defects or lesser defective products there. And when we are talking about this freedom from deficiencies, so freedom from deficiencies, again, depending on the product, it will be different, obviously. From manufacturing industries or the tangible products, the freedom from deficiencies have different means, we can say they are in terms of different categories. But for service industry or intangible products that we are getting, it is something different. For manufacturing product, freedom from deficiencies means defect-free products. There are means lesser and lesser defects or no defects in the product when we are using that. For in terms of service industry, when we are talking about the freedom from deficiencies, means we are getting the right service that we want. We are getting the timely service there. We are whatever the product we are getting, like paperwork we are doing, that should be free from any errors. There should not be any errors in doing that thing. So that is the freedom of deficiencies from different perspective, from manufacturing as well as the service perspective. And accordingly, when we are saying that the features of things in freedom of deficiencies or the defects related to our type of product that is there changes, so then the customer requirements are also changing, or customer understanding about the quality of a product also changes. That was what the Deming was saying, that it is related to the whatever person who is using the product or who is judging that. Now, this freedom from deficiency refers to quality of conformance, that we are ensuring that product is conforming to all the standards that are set while producing also and while we are using the product also. So another definition that originated from this concept is quality. It can be defined as conformance to standards also. So whatever standards we have set, if the product is conforming to that, while, as I said, while production also and while usage also. So that is our another definition of quality. So all these are, we can say, initial or traditional definitions. Yes. Yes. Aditya. So we'll be discussing about that in detail also in coming slides also. But quality of conformance basically means you can understand about it is like that. If when I was saying that initially is quality of design, that while designing the product or while designing its processes, we are ensuring that there should means we are ensuring these features should be there in the product. The customer requires these features. Customer wants a watch, but he wants a smart watch. So we are ensuring that during design phase, we are designing the watch such that it should be having those features of smartwatch. Now, quality of conformance says that here we are ensuring that those features are actually incorporated into the product. And how it will be incorporated? For that, we are setting some standards, we are setting some benchmarks. Like whatever we have made in design, we are ensuring that that is followed. We have said that this procedure will be followed, or let's say one particular machine, special machine will be used for that. We are ensuring that that is there. And even after production, even after the product is finally produced, we are ensuring that those features are there actually. So that is conformance, quality of conformance. We can say that we initially we are incorporating certain features in the design, and then we are making sure that actually those features are there.
Sir?
Yes. Anyone else?
Sir, you share this PPTs, right?
I will share.
Sir, why affordability is not included in customer satisfaction?
Affordability is also one of the features. These are just few examples. Affordability is also there in this customer satisfaction or quality, because price is important, especially when we are talking about countries like India and all. We are judging a quality in terms of price also.
Yes, sir.
So these were the initial concepts or definition, and as I said that now the definition that we are using, along with these definitions, we are talking in terms of reducing the variability. So now people are saying that it's not only about providing more features, it is not only about ensuring that lesser defects can be ensured only when there is less variability. Less variability in terms of when we are like producing a product, we are ensuring that there is lesser and lesser variation. Let's say, for example, we are producing a shaft, we have a given the diameter that the shaft should be of this much diameter. It is obvious that we cannot produce, if let's say we have to produce 1000 shafts of that diameter, we cannot produce 100% of the time the shafts with the exact same diameter. There will be slight variations. That variations are allowed to us. But now people are saying that the product will be of better quality if we are able to reduce that variation. There might be certain allowed variations, like we are saying that whatever is the mean value, from the mean value plus minus 2 standard deviation variation is allowed. But if we are now working with that only, with plus minus 2, it is quite possible that with some relaxation, with laxity of the operator or with the wrong parameter set in the machine, we are always producing on the extreme end, on the plus 2 standard deviation or minus 2 standard deviation. Means there the chances of error or product getting rejected are more. We are just producing the product on boundary line. So there are more chances that now the product will get rejected. So now to ensure better quality or to ensure that there should be lesser variation to ensure that there should be lesser defects or the product getting rejected because of the certain defectives that are there, we have to ensure that there is lesser variability. So that is the new or the modern definition of the quality that we are using, along with the older one also, older concepts also, that quality is inversely proportional to variability. When there is more variability, there are higher chances that the defects will be more, and then if defects are more, so we are not means providing defect-free products to the customers, and there are high chances of rejections there. So here this figure is representing basically certain data from United States and Japan for a certain product, and it is first figure is representing the warranty related cost for transmissions, that is the gearboxes being produced, gearbox and engines being produced in United States and Japan. In United States, the warranty related costs are very high, and in Japan it was very low. So people wanted to explore what is the reason there. So although the products were being produced in the facility in US and the Japan, both means most of the products were within the specification limits. That is this lower specification and upper specification limit. You can see this graph, they are this distribution is representing that products are well within the specification limits. But the products produced in Japan, the facility in Japan, they are having lesser variability from the target of the mean value. And on the other hand, the products produced in United States, they have more variability from the mean value. So spread is more here. So because of that, there are more chances that eventually with the usage, more and more usage of the product will tend to fail much earlier than the one that is being produced near the target. Or there are even chances that here, since many products are very near to the extreme ends or the specification limits, so there are more chances that while production also many products will go beyond the specification limits and will get rejected. So that will add to the cost, various costs, maybe related to the warranty related costs as shown here, maybe related to the our scrap related cost or reworking related cost. So that is what we want to avoid nowadays. So it's not only about conformance to the standards, that is, it is not only about producing the products within the specification limits. It is now about ensuring that we do not give away our money or we do not lose on profits because of these unnecessary costs that are there. So the only way is to we reduce the variability here in our products. So that is the modern concept here.
Sir, what exactly is warranty cost here?
Warranty related cost here is means that we are having some defects and then we are replacing or repairing the product when the product was being used by the customers. They face some certain defects and then we are replacing or repairing that thing. So that is our warranty and guarantee related costs. So the purpose is not means only, it cannot only be warranty related cost, it can be other costs as I said. It can be cost related to the scrap being generated cost. Sometimes the product might get totally scrapped, sometimes the product might have certain defects that can be reworked on, and after reworking we can use the product, but still that will add to the cost to our company, and that is not desired. So various quality related costs also will be discussing later on. So this traditional definition, we can say that our quality improvement or quality management basically is reduction of variability in both in processes and product. So while making the product also, we are ensuring that there is lesser variability in terms of the deviations from the target value and the processes that we are using. We are not varying much from the standards that are there, standard process that are there. So the earlier examples that was there in previous slide, that is also talking about that. So and we can say that now when we are talking about reduction in variability, so we can also say that quality improvement can be made or we can ensure better quality when we are talking about elimination of the waste. So now what is waste? Waste again is depending upon different products, different type of industry. For me, certain thing might be waste, for other person, certain other thing might be waste. So people have defined the waste also. What are the various types of waste in industry? There are 7 different types of waste that are defined. So when we will discuss the topics of lean management, then we'll discuss about that also. But it is like waste, primarily people think about waste as the product that is getting wasted or that is getting scrapped. But that is not the case. People are saying that even unnecessary movement of the product in the your facility is also a waste. Unnecessary movement of the people is also waste. So that all can also be reduced or eliminated, and that will also help us in improving the quality. So these are the certain definitions of the quality management that yes.
Sir, what is the meaning of variability in processes in the definition?
What is the main?
Sir, what is the meaning of variability in processes in the
Variability,
definition?
as I explained, or we can see from this one also, that here means for any process, as I said, let's say we are producing shafts and we have a certain diameter. That shaft should be of diameter 100 mm. So that is our target value or the mean value that is available. But we know that when we are doing continuous production or mass production of the product, we cannot ensure that all these products are on target value. There will be certain variations. For that, we have certain tolerances that are available to us. And here, in terms of quality management, we say that control limits or the specification limits, although both are different, that also we'll discuss in later stages. So here we are saying that we have a certain specification limit given by the customer. This is my target value, 100 mm. From 100 mm plus minus 2 mm is acceptable to me. So that is 98 to 102 mm is acceptable. So if that is there, the product will work fine. It will be acceptable. So that these are the specification limits. Now, one factory is in United States of the same company and other is in Japan. Two different locations. Both are producing products within the specification limit. Products are getting accepted, shipped to the customers. Customers are using. But here we can see when we collected the data, or when they collected the data of the different products produced and plotted the data, they saw that there are more variations from the target. That was 100 mm, let's say, for if we are saying that for the shaft example. Although all the products were acceptable, but many are away from the target value, or we can say very close to the specification limit, lower end upper specification. Whereas the ones produced here in Japan, they are very close to the target value. There is lesser variation here. Now, when the product will be in use, these products that were produced near the specification limits, they have the high tendency to get failed, maybe due to wear and tear, maybe due to many other reasons. So they have more tendency to get fail or get defective. And when they are getting failed or defective, they will add to the cost here, either warranty related cost or rework or scrap related cost. But those products that are near the target value, they have less probability to get failed here. So that is the variability, that when we are producing the product, our target nowadays is to ensure that there is lesser and lesser variability from the target value. If we are able to ensure that, if we are able to control that, then we can say that the product will be of better quality. Means over the time when the customer is going to use that, there is high probability that they will not face much defects there. So that is the concept of variability. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So these were certain definitions of quality management. Next, we will have other concepts related, like the various dimensions of quality and how the principles of quality evolved over the period of time. So that we'll discuss from the next class onwards. So anything you want to ask now, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll stop here. And I will share the new link, or will tell you whether that old link is working or not from the next class onwards, so that others can also join.
Sir,
Huh?
sir, in the elimination of waste definition,
Hmm.
you told that something is useful for one person and that is waste for another person. So, sir, if we eliminate that waste,
I'm not.
Then-
I will say that it is useful for one and waste for other. I said that for me, means for one person, one thing might be waste. For other, it might be other parameter might be waste. Like for me, the waste is only scrap that is being generated. For the person who is thinking from the broader perspective, for him, it is not only about the scrap, the product that is getting scrapped. It is about the unnecessary things that are there, like as I said, the unnecessary movement of the workers, unnecessary movement of the people. So there can be different interpretations of that. For me, the waste is different. For other, it is different. And when we talk about the lean management or lean quality control, we think of not only about the scraps, we think about the broader perspective, where we try to reduce all these types of waste.
okay, sir, so that we will retain that qualities which are useful for most of the people in the product.
We'll try to eliminate all, but whatever possible, still we stick with that. At least the maximum possible waste we try to reduce. But the
Okay.
target should be to eliminate all the waste.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, then so next class is on Thursday. So we'll meet on Thursday. For that, I will be sharing this outline and also the link, new link or the older one. Okay, then bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.